Welcome back to Flow and Slow Barbecue. We're doing exactly the same thing as last week, which is kettle fried chicken. Why am I doing it again? Part of barbecue is that you try things over and try to make it better, and that's what this episode is about. We're trying to enhance the crust. It was a little low on spices. It was delicious, don't get me wrong, but it didn't have the spicy crust. The crust did a good job of keeping the meat moist, but it had hardly any taste of itself. One misconception on my part was that dry brining the meat does not actually mean you don't need a lot of salt in the crust. I'm going to change that today. I'm going to give it a little kick with some cayenne pepper. I like the flavor profile of that a lot. Some regular black pepper. Yeah, and in order to find out if it's really good, before I put it on the grill, I will fry up some in a pan. Well, come along. Another thing I'm changing is I'm not using the breadcrumbs like I did last time. It had too much of a bready flavor to it, and I didn't like that too much. So I'm only going with a flour mixture and then the mix of 2 egg yolks, and now this is 2 cups of buttermilk and 1.5 cups of flour. Gives me this semi-liquid consistency that I'm looking for. I'm not gonna add any spices to this time because I want to keep it simple. And since the chicken goes into the flour and then in here and then back into the flour, it should be enough if I spice up the flour really nice. So I'm starting out with what I think is right. This is 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going with 2 tablespoons of salt, and then a tablespoon of black pepper, and for starters I'm going to take half a tablespoon of cayenne. A little more. Nah, it's good. And for some smoke flavor, I got some smoked paprika, and I think that will go really nice. Yeah, it smells great. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of that as well. Slight hint on the side, if you're measuring spices, always have a bowl underneath, because don't do it over here, because if you take too much, it's all going to land in your final recipe. Okay, let's mix this up. Oh, another thing I've changed. I took deeper bowls. Last time I had plates. And I'm just hoping to make a little less mess than last time. Okay, let's try this. As you can see, I took some of the wet components and mixed them up with the flour mixture. And I'm gonna dump this in the frying pan once it's nice and hot. Just some oil. I hope this works out. Let's find out. I think I cooked it a little too far, but that shouldn't really matter, because I just want to see if there's enough spices in there. I'll let this cool down a bit, give it a try, and if I'm happy, roll with it. You can see Christmas is coming, eh? Before I try this, last time I forgot to mention Troy from the Weber Kettle Club, and I'm sorry for that. His video on the KFC Kettle Fried Chicken actually gave me the inspiration to do this. So, well, thank you, Troy, for your videos. And let's try the crust. It's a lot better. Definitely enough salt. And even though there's cayenne in there, there's only very mild heat to it. So I'm gonna do two mixtures, one where I add a little chipotle and one before I add it because the kids don't like to eat the hot stuff. But this is a major improvement over last time. Actually, this is a nice snack. Upcoming recipe, TV snacks made from Kettle Fried Chicken, whatever, without chicken. I'm gonna roll with this. A little correction. After a moment you feel the heat. It's not bad at all, it's really tasty, but it's not like it's totally mild. So you definitely have some kick from the cayenne in there. And I forgot one spice, and I found that when I cleared up because I set it outside. I didn't add any garlic powder. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of garlic powder to the flour mixture. Okay, let's do this. Even though technically they're going into the same mix, I'm dividing this up into 2 bowls. Because last time, after the 3rd dip, I had some lumps in there, and I don't want that. I don't know how this is gonna work out because there's no breadcrumbs. Maybe it's better. Gloves are a good idea when you're handling chicken anyway, but this is more to protect my hands and keep the mess to a minimum than actually food safety concerns. But then again, do always treat chicken with a lot of hygiene. Okay, the kids like drumsticks better, so I'm gonna do them without adding some chipotle, and I'll do the thighs with chipotle, so I know which ones are hot and which aren't. Okay. I'm also doing more than one at a time because I need some space here on the rack. Did I mention it? Probably not. These have been dry brining in the fridge for 24 hours. I do that with pretty much everything. And if you haven't tried it, do so because it's just so much better. If you can get somebody to help you with this, it's a lot easier if somebody does the wet stuff and somebody does the dry stuff, because all the flour clings to your fingers, even when they're gloved. Now some chipotle. Okay, these were 6 legs, so 6 drumsticks and 6 thighs. And I've used this up. Maybe I could have done 7, but so let's note the recipe is for 12 pieces. There we go. And actually, as you can see, there's no real big lumps in here, so you can probably do it in one big bowl. I didn't make quite as much of a mess as I did last time. Little pro tip from my side for all the married guys out there: clean this up before you go outside. Happy wife, happy life. She'll let you keep grilling. Just take my word for it. I'm using a new toy for the first time today. This little thing. It holds your probes and it goes into the grate for the ambient probe. My clips don't really work well on this grate, so I thought I'd give this a go. One of the perks of cooking outside in winter, you don't have to refrigerate your food. It's colder here than in the fridge. We're at 350. Time to put the chicken on. There's one more thing I'm gonna change. I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes now and flip them once. Because I had some parts of the skin that weren't really nice last time. So maybe that will help. Let's have a look how they are. Looking mighty nice. As you can see, I've rearranged them because the drumsticks were done a little earlier. So I moved them to the back a bit. I'm just gonna keep these warm for a bit and try this one. Same rule still applies. First duty of the pitmaster is to try the food. This is what it looks like. And I'll have a bite. It's moist. It's nice and spicy, a lot better than last time. I think, well, so much better. I don't know if you can see this, but there's juices dropping out. See this? I'm making a mess on my terrace. Oh well. Nice and crunchy. We're gonna enjoy this now. Thank you for watching. Leave a sub, leave a like, leave a comment. I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep cooking.